Okay, on today's video, we're going to talk about how to copy So it's Google Ads campaign from them, use it for ourselves or for your campaign, and make bank afterwards. So there's a lot of people, different philosophies on how to do this. I can tell you right off the top here, there's a bunch of ways to do it wrong. More ways to do it wrong than to do it right. So if you're even thinking about doing this, you definitely want to watch the methodology that I use after setting up hundreds of different PPC accounts for our clients here and businesses I've ran before you go out and do it, or at least consider what I'm telling you today before you run out and do it. Most of the time when people are not successful with PPC, they don't go in with a plan. They just go in, I know how to do this. This is not that hard. And then they crash and burn, and then they got to try again, which can be fine. But if you don't want to go through all the trial and error and wasted money, then go in with the plan. It's much easier. So how do I copy someone else's Google ad campaign results for myself and make bank? Will be described in this video, how to do it step by step using my proven formula that I use for our campaigns here. So let's get into it. So most people get into PPC because they see someone in their niche doing it and they think they could copy what they're doing by that. So another way to, I didn't write it down, but frankly what it is, it's envy of the other person. They may be doing just fine. They're wildly successful, not even having to use PPC, just doing old-fashioned pound the pavement type stuff, cold calling, asking for referrals, whatever, on and on and on. But it still eats into the bottom of their gut because everybody knows, everybody uses Google, everybody's seen their competitor doing this. And they say to themselves, wonder if it actually does work. And whatever I'm doing now, is this a waste of time in comparison to that? 'Cause that's, as a clever business owner, entrepreneur, that's always your mindset. How can I do it better? How can I do it easier? How can I do it that's more profitable? And so they get into the point where they're just saying, and the envy eats them alive to the point where they're like, oh, I just have to try to take their customers on Google Ads. And so what they do is they say, well, if it's working for him, I'll just copy his. That's like the first immediate thought in their head. First of all, they don't usually make that work because it's not like getting listed in the yellow pages where you're there or you're not. There's a quality score system. There's things there that you can't see that they're doing just by looking at even a spy program and see what keywords and stuff that they're advertising on. And if you know nothing about PPC and you just randomly pick somebody, that's when you probably 80% of the time are going to get it wrong. Let's just say. So if you have more experience, you'll get it right more than that. But if you're totally green to this and that's your methodology, you're probably not going to get it right, and you're probably going to quit before you ever get it right. Still, the best way to do PPC with zero experience starting out, and I'm not just saying this because I'm in the business. I've seen hundreds of people, do well, do kind of well, not do well, give up. All of it is to hire somebody who just knows what they're doing. Respectively, with the time it takes to study it, you're better off just spending the money hiring somebody. You have to hire the right person because there's all kinds of fakers and gimmick services out there. There's all kinds of people that will tell you that you could do it for $500 a month and do a crap job. Somebody who really knows what they're doing can do what you're doing if it can be replicated. So they're going to be several $1,000s a month to be able to give you the quality advice you want. But still, it's better off doing that than having to spend dozens of hours getting your first amateur education in how to run a successful PPC campaign, or look at the competitor stuff and try to have the uncertainty. Am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? You just hire them and get it done with. We guarantee results for our clients here. We're the only firm doing it. So if you don't know of anybody, of course, I'm plugging my own service here. But respectively, if you have to do it and want to do it yourself, which go ahead and do it if you want, then you can use this system that I would recommend to anybody, including I'm going to use it for myself here. If I had to, just to be able, what I do is I use this system here I'm going to show you as a supplement to what I'm doing. But you could use it as your sole basis of determining how you're going to replicate what your competitors are doing, looking at their campaign and copy it for yourself. So if you have to do it for yourself with very little or no experience with running ads, and you want to copy the competitor's results, that's still what's on your mind, then here's actually how to do it, okay? So there's basically 4 quick steps, if you will, to do this. I want to say quick, depending on what your research skills are. This can be quick or not so quick, but anyway, I've developed a custom formula. This is myself, that's done this, and what this formula is going to do is going to determine who you're going to copy. Not so much what you're going to copy, but that's also included in here, because I mentioned that 80% of people who try to copy the competitor's campaign thinking that's just so easy, that's just all I got to do is just... First of all, if it was that easy, other people in your space would have already been doing it, okay? Nothing in life is easy. That's worth something at the same time. You got to be able to do something that somebody else isn't willing to do or can do. So we're going to go a step further than what most people that are going to copy somebody, because that's just what they're first gunning for, is going to do here. We're going to copy, but we're going to copy intelligently. So here's the formula to be able to find the person to copy that's likely making money, ultimately because 80% of the people who copy and fail. There's another 80% that's relevant here to this discussion. 80% of people who you see advertise in your space running ads, because ultimately, okay, there's 4 ads on the top of Google if you're in a competitive space, right? But there's 10 other ones or 15 other ones that get cycled in and out for different searches, different times, because there's no guarantee you will show up every time for every keyword. That's not the case, how the system works. And Google's ad engine is determining who should be shown and when for what type of person, not just the keyword flat out by itself. And with that, there might be, on average in a competitive space, 20 people advertising that's going in and out of the system, okay? Of the 20 people, 20% are making money, 80% are not making either any money at all or making barely anything, to where they're working for basically chump change, okay? Google has designed the system this way so everybody's pushing to do a better job to serve to their searchers than they were doing before. Because ultimately, if it was easy to make money with PPC, people would do a crap job writing the ads, setting up a landing page for the user when they get to the site, and people would be so aggravated by what they saw, they would just start clicking on the organic free results down near the bottom of Google, and Google would not make money. So they developed this quality score system to try to reward the people who do a better job, that can do a better job, take a cold user and turning them into a customer or a lead or whatever you want to have, the end goal. And the people who do it better actually get charged less. So basically the ones that make money are set up to make more, in other words, and the people who make none are set up to completely get kicked off the face of the earth. This is the system they've designed. It's nothing against Google. I like the system. That means if you are willing to do more, you could be in the one that takes all the money. Everybody else is just wasting their time, basically. So with all that said, there's 20 people in my space, roughly speaking, in and out of the system. How do I know which 20 to copy? First of all, by the way, if for most of your keywords, if you have 4 ads at the top of Google, there's for sure somebody there making money. I want to just say that right off the top. So copying somebody ain't bad. We still just have to know who to copy of the 20. Which of the 20, in other words, are in that top 20% that's making the money. With no experience, here's kind of how, the best way that I could tell you how to tell, so you know who to copy. And there's software out there to make it easy to copy them, and you could publicly see where they're taking users to. The trick is, the most difficult part I'm telling you is knowing who to copy, because there's 80% not making money. You copy them, you're guaranteed to basically lose right off the bat. Okay, and you'll be 5, 10, 20 grand into the process in a lot of spaces before you figure out you copied the wrong person. So this stuff is important. Okay, so here's the formula. You're going to take a software called SpyFu. There's SEMrush, but I recommend SpyFu. That's what I like better personally. And you're going to look at their ad spend history on SpyFu, and you're going to total up all the amount of money that they spent in the last 3 years as according to what the program says. I found SpyFu, by the way, underestimates it by about 2/3. Not that that matters here, but you're going to figure out how much they spent in the last 3 years, and then you're going to rank on a score of between 1 and 10 yourself how consistent they've been with that spend over the last 3 years. And you're going to give a rating, 10 being the most consistent. The least consistent is going to get a 1, okay? So you're going to take this spend, and you're going to take it times the score that you gave that person in terms of how consistent they've been running their ads. Then you're going to go to there's a service called Melissa Data that have yearly revenue estimates for different companies that are registered companies, okay? So you find that company that you're looking at. So of the 20 companies, you use SpyFu, you're going to look at all 20 of them this way. In other words, you're going to look at the ad spend, you're going to grade them based upon their consistency in ad spend, that they're spending that money. And then you're going to look at Melissa Data, what their yearly revenue is, and then you're going to put that at the bottom of your formula here. So once you multiply your last 3 years spend estimate from SpyFu times your rating of how consistent they are, you're going to divide that by their yearly sales revenue, okay? And the higher the number you get from this general formula here is the more likely it is, if you're going to copy them, that it'll work. The lower it is, the less likely, okay? But it's all relative. What you're going to do is you're going to run this formula for all 20 people, or as many as you can find. You're going to have to hit refresh. You're going to have to search different keywords. On SpyFu, it actually says what most of your competitors are once you type in one, by the way. But you're going to find everyone that's advertising as possible that's consistent. Maybe it's only 10 running consistently, but you're going to run this formula for each. And the one that gets the highest score, that's the number one person you're going to try to copy, okay? Now, the reason this formula is set up this way is, one, if they've been inconsistent with their ad spend, what's probably likely to have happened is the person doesn't know what they're doing, for one, so they're trying different things and things are going up and down. For the person who knows the most about PPC are making the littlest adjustments because they just know what to do. The person who don't know what they're doing is just changing this, changing that, and then things are erratic, okay? And then also, maybe it's not working. We don't know for sure which, but it could also be that it's not working, so they're trying this, they're trying this, they're trying this, they're trying this. And that would make sure the spend is not consistent. If you know what you're doing and it's working, chances are you're just going to keep spending. You may go up in spend, which if you're going up in spend, that's also taking account and factored in by the last 3 years total spend, okay? So what you want to see is either flat usage of the whatever spend that they're spending, which is a reasonable amount of spend, and then even more so if it's going slightly up over time, but not up and down, okay? And the reason, so with that, so you're probably asking yourself, Corey, why is it that you're not just looking at then the amount of spend, how much they're spending, and how consistent they've been with it in and itself versus this yearly sales revenue thing, okay? So that actual part, if somebody has it, I've seen it a lot of times, if you've got a bigger company, they're probably not making money and they don't give a crap. Why? Because they can afford, the middle manager who's set up to be in charge of the PPC, they don't give a shit if they don't make money or not, the company doesn't make money or not. They're just doing whatever, they're planning on switching jobs in a year, something like that. By the time people figure it out, they're gone. They're not going to stress themselves. What you want is somebody who the owner's paying attention to it. The smaller the company you have, the more the owner's paying attention to it, and the more likely that person has to make the ads actually financially work and financially make sense, and which they will actually run out of money if it's not making money, the smaller they are. So you're looking for the highest spend possible for the smallest company possible. That indicates at the highest likelihood possible that ad spend that they're spending actually brings in a profit, not just spends high, but doesn't actually make money, okay? And then if you combine that with the consistency, right, then you have an even stronger signal that it's likely working for that company. They're not just in the phase of trying this or trying that, but they're all losing money along the way. They're actually spending a lot for the size of company they are, and they're consistent, which means it's probably just working. That's the best way you're going to be able to tell who you're copying. It's profitable. If you could copy someone that's profitable and just get it close, you probably will make money at least right away. You may not conquer the world with this copy the competitor strategy, but it'll get you off the ground, make some money, and potentially hand it off to somebody who's more knowledgeable than you after that. Once you know it works, it can work, you have money being pulled in from that, and then just reinvest it into like the top guy to do it for you. Take it over to the next take it to the next level, whatever. So anyway, that's the explanation of the formula, okay? Now, their second step, if you had at least 10 competitors there in SpyFu or PPC competitors, you're going to compare the keyword lists that you find on SpyFu, or you find manually by just searching for different keywords on Google. It's up to you. SpyFu is much easier, and only use the keywords that are duplicated. So basically, you're going to download all the keywords. So I mentioned top 3 here. So if you have 20 competitors, you ran this formula on all of them, first of all. You're going to find the top 3 with the highest score, okay? Once you got narrowed down to the top 3 that's most likely to be making money, then you're going to look at, on SpyFu, all the keywords those 3 are using. If you see at least 2 of the 3 using the same keyword, it's very, very, very much more likely that that keyword actually is profitable than one that only one of the 3 is using. So you're looking to really help yourself and to make it as high as likely as possible that your ad account's going to make money at first. Find at least a keyword that at least 2 of the 3 are using, and that'll actually limit how much you're able to spend and make overall in terms of volume starting out, but that's okay. Because once you're making money, like I said, you can focus on something, hiring somebody else later on to expand it, whatever. That's a little bit more knowledge. Isn't going to be spending thousands and thousands or you won't be spending thousands and thousands trying to figure out stuff on your own being a cowboy, which you could do, but, like I said, you're going to lose less money just paying somebody to tell you what to do at a certain stage. So that's in terms of keywords, what I would do, okay? Moving forward, number 3, once you've got the top 3, okay, you got the best of the keywords that the top 3 use, you're now going to take your top one, the one that had the highest score, and you're going to barely change the ad and the landing page of that competitor that they're using. So whatever ad they're using, barely change just enough about that ad to make it unique to your company. Don't reinvent the wheel, in other words. There's nothing against copying someone's ad completely. You could literally have the same thing. For me, I'm going to take the ad, change a little bit to make it different, and then that's it. Okay, that way I know, at the very least, it's not going to not work. Okay, again, I'm not going to be a cowboy here. We're just doing things to get it off the ground. Let's make some little bit of money. We'll figure out how to hire someone later on, whatever. You do that with the ad, and then the landing page is actually, a lot of people don't recognize, but the landing page is between 50 and 70% of the equation as to whether or not your campaign makes money. So if you don't focus on the landing page, it doesn't matter how good your campaign is, respectively, you're still going to lose money. That said, copy that one with the highest score landing page. Just copy it. There's nothing, there's a copyright issues. You can't literally copy it, but you get what I mean. Don't change just enough that you're not going to get attacked by the other company. Use the same color scheme, roughly speaking. Use the layout being the same. The order of which things are arranged the same. When I've done this in the past, I've never had anybody complain about this. And I've set up hundreds of campaigns. Nobody's going to complain as long as you don't completely directly rip it off. And anyway, so you get my point. But just because somebody has something here, like testimonials here, and the information about the company here, doesn't mean that was randomly chosen and it doesn't matter. If they have the testimonials here and the info about the company here, do what the other person did. Don't get fancy. Don't try out new stuff. You can try that stuff out later after your campaign's already making money. You can test all that stuff to your heart's content later on. We're just trying to make sure that we have the highest possible chance this thing makes money right away. So whatever we test later on is just throwaway money. It's like if you go to the casino and made $5,000, okay, well, I'm going to spend the $5,000, but if I lose more than $5,000, I'm done. Once your campaign's making money, you can try stuff that may not work at all. And if it loses money, who cares? It's all just free money that I made from my initial campaigns. That's how people get to generate millions of dollars in sales from their campaigns. There's actually taking, for guys like me, I'm taking 10% of the account ad spend, and I'm devoting it to brand new stuff all the time. We'll run it for a while, use the data, what aspects of it worked versus didn't work, peel off the stuff that didn't work, keep the stuff that did, and then move on to the next thing and the next thing, and then you just keep building it up like that. So anyway, you're going to just as closely as possible copy that top guy's ad, a landing page. You're going to use the keywords that are most similar from the top 3 competitors, from the top 3 that you develop from this formula here. Okay, and then the last step is just to say, we're pretty much done here. If this doesn't work for you right away, so in 90 days, if you run these ads, start with a low budget, like $1,000 a month, $500 a month. If it doesn't look like after 90 days that it looks like it could make money, and it may not be all the way profitable, but your first month should be some leads, some sales. Second month, a little more. Third month, a little more. If it doesn't look like it's going in the right direction by the 90-day point, you could stop. And then you're going to go on to test and rip off, if you will, call it rip off, the number 2 or the second highest number you got from this formula and use their ad and their landing page respectively. If you go after the top 3 using this formula, you're going to find one of the 3 that's making money. Okay, 90% of the time, if you got 10 competitors or more and you run this formula on all of them, you're going to find at least one of the 3 that's going to make you money. So worst case scenario, you have to test 1, it's not making money. Test 2, not making money. Test 3, okay, that's making money. So you will lose upwards of, if you're investing $500 a month for 3 months, okay, that doesn't work. $1,500 gone. Do it again. $1,500 gone for the second one. Then the third one, it looks like it will work, and you'll keep going. So you only have to spend a few $1,000s to test out and find the one that's working. And this helps you narrow it down to, instead of 20, the 3 that will work. And also it helps you copy it. So at the end of the day, what you're copying actually has the capability to earn what the competitor's earning as well at the end of the day. Okay. So Google ads are easy to copy. Display advertising is different. If you're going to run Google display advertising and use a software like What Runs Where to see our competitors' display advertising, or go under Facebook, under the competitor's Facebook page, there's a way to see the competitor's Facebook ads if they have any. That's all driven off of like lookalike algorithm a lot of times. So basically Google or Facebook is trying to find you a customer that looked like your last customer or look like your competitor's customer. I won't get into the details on this, but with that, you can copy the ad, you can copy the landing page. It will take longer for that to work if it's going to work. A lot of times it will take 6 months. I wouldn't try it out for 90 days. I would try it out for 6 months before giving up on it to at least see if it has legs, okay? But it's the same idea. You don't get so lucky when you're doing the search campaigns, you can narrow it down to certain keywords. You're going to make money faster. But with the display ads, the algorithm has to learn how to match your ad with the right customers. But at least if you have the ad and the landing page down to where the formula what likely work for the competitor, going back and using this formula here, then at least once the algorithm does get enough data to figure out how to match your ad and landing page with the right audience, then you know you didn't waste your time. Okay, so that's another thing that can be done. So ultimately, this formula could be used for display advertising on Facebook, could be used on Google Display Network for ads that drive new users in. It could be used for Bing advertising. It could be used technically for anything here. There's spy tools for different ad networks out there. There's not a good one for Facebook. So in the case that you can't look at how consistent their spend has been, then it's just about that you think they spend overall, how consistent they've been divided by their revenue. And how consistent they've been with their spend, respectively, I'm going to be looking at on Facebook, by the way. You go into their Facebook page, you can go into the part of their account that shows what ads they're running, and it shows how long they've been running it. So I would, instead of using like what I use here for search campaigns, the length of time that they've been running it is going to be what I divide by their yearly sales revenue. That's going to tell me who most likely is making money from their campaigns, okay? Just to spin it a little bit here for yourself as well. Same thing with Google Display Network or other banner advertising that draws a new click in or a new person in. I'm going to look at how long they've been running it, and there's tools out there that tells you when's the first time they've seen an ad, like on what runs where, so you could calculate, have a number on top to divide by your yearly sales revenue from Melissa data on the bottom here to get with your who's most likely to be making money and who to copy. Okay, it's very similar to how people that are in affiliate advertising copy other people's campaigns. This is kind of also derived from that. Really, instead of coming up with your own model, they just copy each other, and respectively, people that run their ads the most is what you copy first. So anyway, that's everything. Hope you enjoyed the video. I have a lot of other videos on this channel about different PPC money-making strategies. If you haven't seen any of them, you should definitely check those out. I have a blog at guaranteedppc.com/blog with step-by-step instructions on how to build campaigns the way that I build them to guarantee our clients results. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, leave me a comment down below. I will get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel within a couple days. So you can ask me anything you would like about PPC or otherwise. Hope you enjoyed, and good luck to you in doing your campaign copying, hijacking, whatever you want to call it, from your competitors, and start making some money from PPC.